Hello, my friends. I am finally coming at you with the November freebie and cash roundup that I have been promising you for days and days and days. So I'm excited to be able to present this to you. We have so much that is available this month, and I know we've had to put this off because of the breaking news. So let's just dive in and get started with this huge list. And I am going to let you know right now the list is very, very big this month, so I hope you'll stick with me. Yeah, okay, we're just going to start with the freebies. And some of these, if you've watched our recent live streams, may be a little bit familiar here at the beginning. And we're going to give more people time to join on before we dive into the grants and the other things that we have found. So first, you may have seen this yesterday. We have another brand we run called Hope, and we're going to be giving away a stress relief workbook that's been very helpful to me. You can see it over there at the red link. It's at lirlinks.com/hope. That's a free download that you can get if you go join our Hope list over there as well. And that channel is run by me and my daughter. I appreciate so many of you who jumped on to see her first live stream yesterday. That was really cool. So we also know that GoPuff is giving away $50 in free groceries this month. I've heard from many of you who have already claimed this offer and had those delivered to you, which I love hearing those success stories. So please always let us know when you're able to use these programs. Right now, you can use the code SNAPRELIEF1, that's the number 1, for $25 off SNAP eligible groceries and free delivery. That coupon code will last until the 15th, and then it will expire, and the new code SNAP Relief 2 will be in effect from the 16th until the end of the month. So that is on the GoPuff app. Now, we also know that Propel is sending out $50 cash cards to certain people who have SNAP and use the Propel app. I haven't seen any way that you can apply for this. It looks like they're still fundraising, so I'm not sure if they're going to expand the eligibility or how this is going to work exactly. But we know that they're starting with households that have at least 3 people in them who usually receive the maximum SNAP allotment. And again, you have to be a Propel user to be able to get this. So make sure you've got that Propel app installed and that your EBT card is linked and all of that if you're interested in that. Now, let's see. Sorry, I got distracted by the chat there for a second. I always want to dive in and talk to you guys. We know that Veterans Day is coming up on November 11th, and this is a great opportunity for active duty military, veterans, and their families to get a free meal. Now, each restaurant handles this a little differently. But, and we have noticed, I should tell you, we have noticed that fewer restaurants than normal are participating in this year. But I wanted to make sure you're aware of the offers that are out there. So Applebee's is offering a free meal. Chili's is offering a free meal. I really like what Freddy's Frozen Custard does because they give you a meal card that you can use later. So you can go get a free meal somewhere else and then get something that you can use at a later date as well from Freddy's. And then Red Robin is also participating. I know not everybody who watches this is a veteran, obviously. So if you're interested in the full list, you can go to our website that's over there in the red, where you can see the full list of restaurants that we found. I want you to know, I know there's a lot of lists that circulate online with these freebies every year. And I mean, I publish one too, so I get it. But I've noticed that a lot of them just change the year and they don't update the offer. So a lot of those lists are actually really outdated, even when it looks like they're recent. So I want you to know that the team and I went over every restaurant in that list this week to make sure that they actually are offering something in 2025. And we put all the ones we could confirm at the top, and then all the ones that probably still are, but we weren't 100% sure, a little bit lower in the list so that you could be confident in what you were finding on our website. And we're trying to do that with all of our different lists that we have to make sure that, because things are just changing so fast, right, for everybody right now. So similarly, we have our free Thanksgiving meal list. We've gone through all the nationwide offers. We're still finding a lot of state-specific ones. So I will be coming back to do a separate video on this probably within the next week to make sure that we're giving you like all of the options that are out there. We do know that Ibotta is back with their 100% cashback offer for Thanksgiving. If you are a new user who downloads the Ibotta app, you can get that free turkey and those sides for free. And it should be as easy as installing the app, claiming the offers, and going shopping. Now, if you are an existing user, they're going to make you put a little bit of work in to get those freebies this year. You have to refer somebody who then has to submit a receipt before you'll be able to unlock the free turkey offer. And then they said that they are going to be unlocking different free side offers every Monday. So either way, you can download the Ibotta app at lirlinks.com/Ibotta and get started with that. Now, do be mindful that this is a cash back offer. So you have to buy it, then submit your receipt, and then they give you the cash back. So you do have to be able to front that upfront cost, but then you should be paid back for what you spent. And you can see how all of that works inside the Ibotta app. Now, we also know that Thanksgiving Heroes is still operational, so is Operation in Turkey. We know that the Learner and Row attorneys are doing all of their giveaways in different states. We've just, I just went over this list myself this morning, so I know that all of that information there is accurate. And Stephanie, I think, helped me finish it out, and so did some of the other members of the team. But if you are interested in what we have so far on the Thanksgiving list, you can go check out that link, and we will be continuing to update that as we find more things, because a lot of these organizations aren't putting out their lists at the usual schedule, and I think that's due to the shutdown and concerns that they're going to have to prioritize other things possibly. So we're going to continue updating that as more news rolls out. Now, it's also time, I know we haven't hit Thanksgiving yet, but it's also time to start looking into Christmas help, because a lot of these open, some of them open as early as October, a lot of them open in November. If you wait until after Thanksgiving, it is often too late to get this kind of assistance. Not always. I have found some programs that operate at the last minute, but most of the main ones register very early. So if you're interested in any form of Christmas assistance, please go to that link over there. I know last month some of you told me the link was broken. I did fix it. So that link is working now, and that will take you to all of the Christmas programs that we've been able to find. I did just see something pop up in the chat. Sorry, I did get distracted, but I want to answer this really quick for Justice Jane, who said that she wasn't sure she'd trust the Ibotta offer because you have to give them the money first. I know Ibotta sponsors this channel, so maybe I'm a biased source, but I have used that in the past, and they've always been really consistent about getting that in. You do need to make sure that you follow the terms of the offer, though, because sometimes, like for the turkey, there may be up to certain weight limits or brand limits on the sides and things like that. But as long as you're following the terms of the offer, they're pretty good about getting that money back to you. And they have a barcode scanner you can use to make sure that the thing that you're buying fits what they're doing. So hopefully that's helpful, and hopefully that's a little comforting, because I would be skeptical too, but I've used that app myself for years, so long before they sponsored this channel. Anyway, other deals you can watch for this month include Black Friday. Some retailers have really good doorbusters or freebies that don't require additional purchases. And then National Pickle Day is also coming up on November 14th. I didn't want to summarize all of those offers for you here in the slide because they vary locally, but a lot of sandwich shops are doing like buy one, get one free deals and different promotions to commemorate that day. I know it's kind of quirky, but if you're interested, those offers are out there. Now, we are also giving away our food bank cookbook, which we've been talking about a lot this month. This is something we're doing during the shutdown. The link is over there. It's lirlinks.com/cook. You have to go to that specific link to get the free download. We weren't able to discount the book down below. So, but if you go to that link, you can get the same thing that we offer in our merch store at no cost. So, okay, yeah. We also have the free Medicare book from Chapter still. They've been very generous about letting us give this away to our audience. This book sells for $10 on Amazon or $12 at Barnes & Noble. It is an Amazon bestseller for Medicare. If you have any Medicare questions, this is an amazing resource, and you can download it at lirlinks.com/book. And if you don't feel like reading, but you still need help with Medicare, Chapter, we moved the number up there. They are amazing at answering just about any question I've ever asked on Medicare, so I highly recommend them as well. Now, okay, Now let's talk about grants and like the status of different programs and ways that you can get some extra cash, because I know that is desperately needed this month. So CORE, which is an organization we've talked about before on this channel that stands for Children of Restaurant Employees, is giving e-gift cards to help people buy groceries. So to be eligible for this, you have to have a food or beverage worker in your household. And you can apply for this on their website. They're going to select, I think they said 100 families that will receive these e-gift cards, and the value of those cards should be enough to feed a family for up to 5 meals. Applications for this are due November 24th at 9 p.m., but I don't know what time zone that is. So I would err on the side of caution and apply earlier if you can. And because the URL for this was so long, I used our lirlinks.com website, which we own, by the way, in case you're worried about it being scammy. I set up those links myself. We just did a short link for you so that you could quickly and easily get to that application if you're interested. Now, everybody's been asking about LIHEAP because usually this is the season where I'm telling you to go apply for it. And there are some states that are using state funding to make it available at this time, but the vast majority of states are waiting for the shutdown to resolve before that funding is available. If you urgently need, if you urgently need help with your utilities, go check that link over there in red and see what we found for your state. And even if your state is not offering LIHEAP, please do not hesitate to call your utility company, your community action council. Those are great resources to help you find additional assistance outside of the LIHEAP program, even if it's not operational in your area. So, okay. And of course, SNAP benefits, we've been doing daily updates on what's going on with SNAP benefits. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because I feel like some of you are probably really done with this news. But we do know that some states are supplementing and sending out extra benefits. And we have all of that information on our website as well at the link that you can see over there. I would love to know, by the way, if you find this format of video useful. I know a couple of months ago we transitioned to more of like me talking with a slide deck instead of just me talking. And if you're finding this helpful, having it written down with links and stuff, I'd love to get that feedback from you because I want to make sure that we're always doing things in a way that's useful to you. Now, in addition to the updates on LIHEAP and SNAP, we also have an article on our website where we're going over cash assistance. Now, I call it TANF because that's what the federal government calls it, but this program goes by many different names in different states. You know, CalWorks, Ohio Works First, all sorts of different states have different names for this. Some states are sending out extra benefits through this program to compensate for the loss of SNAP benefits at the federal level. So if you are eligible for that cash assistance, I would encourage you to go to the link over there to find out what's going on in your state and if you're potentially going to be getting extra. So, okay, what else do we got? Skip grants. If you are a business owner or an entrepreneur or a creative person who would like to start a business, skip grants is a great way to get funding for your projects and the businesses that you're trying to start. I love business. Like that's kind of like I have a business and I love it. And I think it's a great way to get, it's basically the ultimate low income relief, right? Starting a business and finding ways to expand your income is probably the most reliable way to escape low income stuff. That's how my family did it. So anyway, that's another soapbox I could stand on for a while. Skip grants is awesome. They have a $1,000 instant grant that's open to US based business owners and entrepreneurs over the age of 18. Like seriously, that's the only requirement. You have to answer a couple of questions by November 11th, and then they give those away on their live streams. And they do those constantly, like all the time. Yeah, every time I log in, there's one of these pending. It's pretty cool. And then Gusto Impact Grants is offering up to $40,000 in advertising and perks to small businesses who are making an impact in their communities. So even if you're not eligible for that, if you have a business that's doing something awesome in your community that's helping people out, tell them to go apply for that because that can really help them too. I know there's a lot of restaurants that are starting to do things like pay it forward meals where somebody can donate a meal and they put a receipt up and people can claim that. And there's a lot of business owners that are doing some amazing things to help, not only during the shutdown, but just in the last couple of years. So if you have one of those in your community, go tell them about that grant. That would really help them. And then Galaxy Grants is awarding $2,500 to a US-based woman or minority-owned business. Applications for that are due November 30th. And then again, we just made our little short links so that those are easier to get to. Now, okay, yes, other grants. Now we're going to get a little specific here, and I hope you'll bear with me because we have a whole lot of other stuff to cover after this. But I want you guys to know, like, we dig into the weeds and try to find every possible thing that can help you guys. So if you are a veteran in New Hampshire or Maine, Vouchers for Veterans will give you a $20 farmers market voucher every time you go to one of their indoor winter markets. So there's a list of participating markets at the link that you see over there. I would encourage you to check that out because that is extremely valuable. If you have a low-income kid in the Seattle area who's dealing with some challenges, Camp Fire has their financial assistance applications open for their camps until December 31st. And of course, the Seroptimist Live Your Dream Award helps people, sorry, scratch that, helps women with dependents pay for college. It remains open until mid-November, so the deadline is coming up quickly for that. And if you want the chance to win that scholarship, you need to go to seroptimist.org basically right now and get to work on that application. So, okay, I think that's going to cover it for grants. Now let's talk about different things you can claim because there's also a bunch of open settlements and different things that have other opportunities for cash. So, yeah, so our sponsor injury claims has a lot of open cases right now, and you may qualify for financial compensation if you qualify for any one of their open cases, and I think there's over a dozen of them. I'm just going to highlight a couple of them for you really quickly. So players who have developed addiction or behavioral issues after spending 4 or more hours a day on certain video games may be eligible for one of their cases. People diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or fatty liver disease before the age of 30, if after they consumed ultra-processed food, may be eligible for the processed food case. And people who experienced complications or severe side effects after taking Ozempic or Wegovy may also qualify for a different one of their cases. And if you go to the link over there in red at lirlinks.com/claims, you can see all of their open cases that they have. And then you just click the Join Today button under the one you're interested in. And there's usually just a really short survey. A lot of times it's only like 3 questions to see if you qualify for that. And that's how you get started. So you can go check that out if you're interested. And then we're going to dive in and we're going to talk about some of the class actions that I found. Now, I do have a question for you guys about this because I know we go over these every month and some of these are great opportunities. And I've heard from a lot of you that this information has been very helpful, but I'm never sure how much depth I should go into because I don't want anyone to feel like I'm wasting their time, but I also don't want to miss any resources that might help somebody out. So I'm thinking about doing like a separate video on this on our secondary channel or trying to figure out how to do this in the way that's most useful to you. So if you have any thoughts on that, feel free to let us know. So diving into the settlements right now, the Hush Blackwell debt collection one is for people who received a written communication trying to collect a debt between May 30th of 2023 and May 30th of 2024. If you qualify for this, you could receive $30, and they do plan to send that payment automatically through the mail to everyone who received those letters. So the reason I'm telling you about this is because if you have moved or they don't have the right address, how are they going to get that money to you, right? This sort of thing is where states start collecting the money that ends up at missingmoney.org, right? So I just wanted to make you aware of that so that you can watch for it. And if you don't get that, or if you're not sure like what address they're going to send it to, I put the link over there so that you guys could follow up with the people in charge of administering that. So, okay, canteen vending machines. This one is complicated, okay? They have so many of these vending machines in so many different states. They're in more than half states. And if you're anything like me, I don't know who owns the vending machines I've used, right? But you may be included in this if you used a credit, debit, or prepaid card to make a purchase from certain vending machines between 2014 and July 9th of 2025, which is an insanely large window of time. Basically, this settlement is because they're saying that the vending machine owner charged your card more than the prices that were listed. And payments for this can range from $30 to $360, depending on the number of purchases you made. Now, I would recommend that you, if you've made vending machine purchases in that time, that you go over to that website and you look at their list of where their vending machines are located and then go from there. It doesn't look like any proof is required, and you didn't need a claim number or anything. Sorry, scratch for the form. But yeah, anyway, the website's over there so you guys can figure it out. I thought that you guys would want to know about that because it looks like it's going to cover not only a lot of time, but a lot of vending machines in a lot of different places. Okay. Now, Even Flow Big Kid Booster Seats. If you purchased one of their qualifying products between January 1st of 2008 and December 31st of 2022, you may be included in this. This is going to include both a cash payment and a $25 product credit for each booster seat that you bought, up to 2. And the link is over there. Those claims are due by November 24th. So let's see, Payless car rental fees. So if you rented a car from Payless between January 1st of 2016 and November 25th of 2023, and they charged you certain fees, you may be eligible for up to $20, but you have to go to the link over there by November 10th and tell them how you want to receive that money. So American Income Life Insurance calls. If you were registered for the Do Not Call registry for at least 30 days and you received 2 or more telemarketing calls from American Income Life Insurance between August of 2019 and December of 2024, you may be eligible. They're going to divide this payout among everybody who files a claim, so there's no way to know how much those will be worth. But you can file your claim at donotcallsettlement.com by November 25th. At this point, I've heard from a lot of you, especially when it comes to what's going on with SNAP, saying that anything is better than nothing, and I agree with you, which is one of the reasons why I'm highlighting like all of the settlements that I could find this month, because I know at this point, every little bit helps, right? Let's see, what else do we got? I know I can see the number we have left, but I don't always remember which one is coming up next. So American Family Mutual Insurance. If you had a policy with them in Arizona, Wisconsin, or Illinois, you can see the dates over there for each state. Those payments are going to be $10 to $200 depending on your claim details. All of those have a December 1st turn-in date. So you've got a little bit under a month, but make sure you don't miss that deadline if you may qualify for that. And then progressive debt collection emails. If you're in Florida and they emailed you between 9 p.m. and 8 a.m. between the dates that you see over there, they're saying people will not receive more than $1,000, but it will be paid. They're going to divide it out, so it's going to probably be much less than that, but that's kind of the cap on it. And you can file that claim over there at that link by November 24th. Okay, I'm going to pause really quick and answer this question from Tina, because this is great. Will any of these things help folks in the state of Arizona? Yes. So unless, if you see like a state abbreviation on the slide, like this one said Florida, but then that one had states on it, but then this one doesn't, then this one is not limited to a certain state. This one, I listed the states here because there were multiple ones. And then on this one, I put the state abbreviation at the top. Most of the things we're covering here should be applicable to everyone. We just have a couple of state-specific ones to wrap up with before we dive into the Q&A. I always put the state-specific ones at the end of the presentation because I know a lot of people lose interest when we get into that, but we do have several different states that we're covering. So, okay. So if you are, if you logged into the SSM Health MyChart patient portal between July 6th of 2020 and February of 2023, you may be eligible for a $31.50 payment. It looks like this health center is based in Oklahoma. And you can see the link over there. Those claims are due by November 25th. And then here we have one in Indiana for Margaret Mary Community Hospital. It's another one of those, if you logged into their portal between January 1st of 2020 and December 31st of 2023, you may be able to get $25 cash plus access to certain Privacy Shield services because of a data privacy issue. And those claims are due by December 1st. And in Pennsylvania, there's an AutoZone data privacy settlement. So if you're a Pennsylvania resident who placed an order on AutoZone.com on or after January 1st of 2022, and you were not an AutoZone Rewards member, you may be eligible for a $20 cash payment for every valid claim. And you can submit those by November 13th at the link that you see over there. And we're almost done with these guys, I promise, and then I'll jump into the chat. There's another one for LCMC Health Holdings, which looks like it's in Louisiana. If you logged into their patient portal between January 1st of 2019 and November 30th of 2022, then you may be a part of this. They're offering $15 cash plus 1 year access to Privacy Shield Pro, but you have to file your claim by November 25th. And then this one is for California. It's for unauthorized way-to-go transactions. If you disputed that and your dispute was denied, anytime on or after July 20th of 2020, you may be able to get up to around 73% of whatever your denied amount was back. And it looks like you don't have to do anything to claim this money. You can opt out over there, but I wanted to make you guys aware because it's not entirely sure if they're going to be sending you a check or if you can select a payment method. Sometimes you can do that. But I wanted to make you aware of that. Okay, so before we jump into the Q&A, I just have one more question for you. There are a whole bunch of data breach settlements that I didn't touch in this because I wasn't sure you guys would want to sit through any more than I already had. But some of those data breach ones can be worth like up to thousands of dollars in some cases if you're affected. But they tend to be very state specific or very specific to a certain company or service. And I wasn't sure if that would be interesting to you or not. If you would like me to do a roundup of all of those, I would be more than happy to do that. I just want to make sure in advance that it's something you actually want and that I'm not just going to be boring you guys to death because I do appreciate that you're here watching the video. So if anybody feels like answering that question, I would love to know. And with that in mind, our sponsor Free Cash is awesome. They'll pay you to play games and test new apps and things like that. I am going to jump into the chat now, but I do need to warn you that Kaylee is not here to help me today. Stephanie is helping, but she doesn't have the ability to highlight your comments for the Q&A portion of our video, so we will be going a little bit slower through those. Kaylee wishes she could be here, but she had a dental appointment today, so she's having a bit of a rough one. But let's jump in. Oh, I had a question pop up, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe... Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Ellen says, I'm from West Virginia and 62 years old and retired. Am I required to work for SNAP? I currently have SNAP. They are trying to move that upper age limit to 65. So if you have disability, you should be exempt. If you're retired, I would think you would be fine. The issue is they want people to have a certain amount of income. And if your retirement income exceeded that, then you would probably be exempt. But I would need more specific details before I could weigh in exactly on how that would apply to you. So I hope that's helpful. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Alan's got another question here. How do you find the amount of money on the EBT cash benefits? How do you access the cash? So Propel app, the ones that are giving away the money, is a great way. They'll show you what your SNAP and cash balances are. You have to be on one of the cash programs to get the cash benefits. So to my understanding, you use it just like your EBT card, like your SNAP benefits, but then you select cash it at the checkout. I have never benefited from that program personally, but to my understanding, that's how it works. But yeah, Propel can help you check that balance. So could your state's EBT app as well. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, good. Okay, Nim is saying I should do the data breach settlements. I am more than happy to put that together. I'm seeing a lot of yes comments on this. We will probably do that on the Fast Facts channel, which if you're not already subscribed to, that's kind of our secondary channel where we put, I don't know, I call them our overflow videos because we honestly have way more content than we can fit on one channel. But yeah, if you are subscribed to that, we'll try to get that video out for you very soon. Let's see. Stephanie must be able to click on comments because I am not clicking on things and they are popping up. So that's awesome. Okay. For those who receive government benefits, that if you have life insurance, you can borrow against it and it's considered generated income. Yes. So insurance messes people up when it comes to benefits. And I think that is one of the most frustrating things about all of this. If you have an insurance policy that has a cash payout amount that you can access, they will count it as an asset against you, even if you don't pull money out of it. A lot of the times when you hear horror stories about people who got an overpayment notice from Social Security and now they owe $20,000, it's because they inherited an insurance policy or somebody bought them an insurance policy and they didn't know it was going to count against the asset limits. And then Social Security is like, oh, well, you didn't qualify. Now you have to pay us back. I've seen so many of those stories and they always just wreck me because it's so unfair, right? But you do have to be extremely careful when it comes to insurance policies because some of them absolutely can mess you up. And it's going to depend on what program you're using in each individual policy, but yeah, it's not good stuff. So, okay. Last year for Veterans Day, because I'm a veteran, I went to about 5 different restaurants and they all gave me meals to take home even. I love that. That is fantastic. Yeah, restaurants are great about Veterans Day and there's so many of them. We only went over a couple of them on this list and I tried to stick to the ones that are more nationwide. But there are a lot of them that do this. And some of them, like Freddy's is giving out a card that you can come back with at a later date. And I don't remember which other restaurant it was, but there was another one that was also like giving out a certificate that you could use until the end of the month. It's a great opportunity for veterans to get extra food, especially as we're going through all this uncertainty with SNAP and everything. I think that that's a great resource. So, yeah. I'm going to highlight this one really quick. Oh, never mind. She's already got one for me. Okay. One of the food banks I go to gave me a voucher for a Thanksgiving box to pick up on November 20th. Awesome. That is awesome. A lot of food banks are able to do that, and that is wonderful. If you are not already connected to your local food bank, I would encourage you to do that. Even if you're homebound and you're not sure how you're going to get there or there's some other barrier, a lot of them can give you vouchers or coordinate delivery. You never know until you ask. So please connect with your local food banks. They are amazing resources. So I'm going to highlight this one really quick. Jermaine is saying, what is the best way to get a hold of you? If you email team@lowincomerelief.com, that is the best way to get a hold of us. Also leaving comments here on our lives because, obviously we're doing a lot of these Q&As lately. We usually don't do this many, but we've had so much breaking news over the last few weeks that we've basically had to. So I'd also love some feedback on that. Are you guys liking the Q&As that we're doing every day? Are the videos too long now? This was a conversation our team actually had earlier today as we were trying to figure out, should we be putting out more of the short videos that we usually do, or should we continue to do these long live streams? So love to hear your feedback on that too. All right, Pamela says, just getting on Medicare, called Chapter, and they were terrific. So glad I called them. They were so helpful. That is awesome. I'm so glad they were able to help you. If I'm honest with you, I'd never heard of them either until they reached out to me. It's been almost like a year now. And I had been searching because Medicare is so confusing and a lot of the other helplines that I had tried weren't as helpful as I thought they would be. So I absolutely grilled these guys before we agreed to this sponsorship partnership that we have. And I was so impressed with their ethics because they're fully committed to helping you choose the absolute best plan, even if it's not one that they offer. They're going to tell you. And that's a huge thing for me because I always want to make sure that whatever we're recommending to you is actually going to put you first and really, really help. So I love hearing great things about Chapter. That's awesome. We've got a lot of feedback from people this year that have been able to get help, and I think that's awesome. So thank you for sharing that, Pamela. That's awesome. I say awesome a lot. That and right? Everyone's always pointing out how much I say So All right. Do we have another one, Stephanie? Or um, here, I'll go ahead and highlight this one. Yaz from Alcatraz says, I'm surprised EBT cash benefits weren't affected nationwide. Honestly, me too. When I started that article on our website where we're going through each state and figuring out what's going on, I was pretty much expecting there to be some sort of impact. But because it's funded so differently than SNAP, it seems to be operational in all states, and some states had the freedom to be able to even boost those benefits to help offset the SNAP losses, which is wonderful. So, yeah, that was, at least that's a relief, right? All right, can my children insure me and it not count as an asset on SSI? I don't know the answer to that question. I would have to go research that. I don't want to say anything by mistake that wouldn't be 100% right. My assumption, and again, I'm not a lawyer, this is pure assumption based on my best knowledge at this time, and is that if you weren't a beneficiary of that insurance plan, meaning that you wouldn't get money from it, that it shouldn't affect that. But I would want to go make very sure before anybody took any sort of action on that, because it gets messy fast. So I will put this on our research list, and I will type that in right now to make sure that we look that up. So all right, I got that one down for me to look into. Okay, do we have another one? Let's see. Does chapter give Medicare Part D advice? Yes, if it has anything to do with anything Medicare, chapter can help you out with that. I have asked them all sorts of questions. I got an email a little while ago with someone asking me about Part F, which I had never heard about before. And I sent that over, and they were able to clarify all of that for me too. These guys are just absolutely amazing at all things Medicare. So yeah, they should be able to help you out. Let's see. Oh, Love Wins. Thank you so much. This is such an interesting and informative channel. I really appreciate that. We do our best. We definitely do our best. Let's see. Do we have another? I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's Stephanie that's clicking on comments because Kaylee isn't here in the office with me. So I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do. Let's see. Yeah, all life insurance, even for funeral expenses, are counted as a resource. Isn't that just so frustrating? Like, that just feels so unfair. That drives me crazy. Let's see. Wow. Okay, Angels Don't Fall says the Cherokee Nation is providing one-time emergency payments of up to $185 per individual to Cherokee Nation citizens who were receiving SNAP and reside anywhere in the United States. That is phenomenal. Okay, I hadn't seen that yet. I'm going to notate that as well, so we can get that on our list. Okay. I really appreciate those tips. We do our best to track all of this in real time as it's going down, but sometimes you guys are going to see things before I see them, and anytime that you can give us a tip, it's always very appreciated because it really helps. This is great advice from Cheryl. She says, please call your local church and ask them if they have a soup kitchen, because many of them do, and they do give free food too. This is absolutely solid advice. There are so many different churches out there that offer nutrition support but don't necessarily widely advertise it. It is always worth calling and asking. Let's see. Kinga Kong is saying, how does one get cash benefits on EBT? The very first month I had SNAP, I also received $20 on the cash account, but only that first month. Yeah, so sometimes they'll deposit little bits, even if you're not on one of the programs that usually puts the money there. But usually if you're getting EBT cash, you're going to be getting it through the TANF program, which, like I said earlier, goes by all sorts of different names in different states. Federally, it's called TANF, which is Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. There's also some other programs that can provide EBT cash. for a long time, refugee cash assistance was one of them. I haven't been following that as closely, so I'm not sure that's still going. But there's a couple of other things that can provide EBT cash too, but largely when people get that benefit, it's coming through something like TANF. So, okay, Sharos says, I hope I said that right. Sharos, I will not continue to butcher that name. I apologize. What is your other channel? So we have a couple of other channels. The one you're probably asking about is Fast Facts by Low Income Relief, which was set up to be where we post shorts, little short videos and other state-specific information and things that we just don't have space in our calendar to put on this channel. So if you like what we do here, you'll like what we do there too, because it's basically the same thing, just more of us. And then we also have the Hope channel, which is giving away this journal. That's also our channel, and this one is completely different. At Hope, we're doing good news stories, affirmations, encouragement, meditations. We're not therapists, but we're trying to spread peace and calm and comfort and happiness and joy in the world, because we all need more of that. So we've got the Hope channel, and then we've got Fast Facts by Low Income Relief, and those are kind of our main ones right now. So hopefully that works. Let's see. Kathleen says, why is my question being stopped? So it could be one of a number of factors. We have slow chat on now because last week we were having a hard time keeping up and the comments were disappearing faster than we could get to them. So we put slow chat on just to make sure we could keep up with things. There's also a chance that you're using one of the trigger words that causes the automatic filtering that we have. We have a lot of those, unfortunately, because we try to proactively block whatever words we've seen bots using, which I know is a headache, and I do apologize. We try to manually moderate as many of those as we can, but that's possibly an issue. I haven't seen any other questions come across my tool here, so I don't know any other reason that it might be. Let's see. Okay, Noah has a big question. I'm from Illinois. I'm on SSDI and SNAP, but barely getting by. Any recommendations or problems you can suggest? Oh, so many. We could be here for hours. This question is exactly why I started Low Income Relief in the first place, because I found that nobody's really good at telling you what else you can qualify for if you qualify for benefits, right? You're just kind of expected to figure it out on your own, and that's crazy because the system is so complicated and there's so many loopholes and programs and grants and just things everywhere. And so I've made it my full-time job trying to compile all of that for you guys. So we have all sorts of videos on this channel that would be useful to you. I would recommend that after we're done here, you go look at our channel history. And we have like hardship grants that are amazing, and those are still operational. I'd go check those out depending on what disability got you on SSDI. There's all sorts of like patient assistance programs and special funds for different conditions. There is so much out there that goes far beyond the traditional government programs that everyone thinks about, and they're not always very well advertised, but we do our best to get the word out about those. So I'd recommend going and looking at like our, not that I want to overwhelm you or anything, but we have a big catalog of hundreds of videos of things that might be able to help you out. So yeah. Okay. Oh, this is good advice. Cheryl says, as a senior citizen, I do get supplemental security. I make payments directly to my local funeral home for my expenses, and my worker said that's okay. So that's a workaround to some of that insurance challenge that we've seen. So yeah, I appreciate that tip. I love that you guys help help each other out in here. Zakir is saying, have you ever tried using the Q&A tool directly in YouTube chat? That is not something that I have tried. That interestingly might be, I wonder if that's what Stephanie's doing. I use a special streaming tool that helps me with the layout, with the presentations and the different things. So I'm not actually inside the YouTube interface when I'm doing this, but that's interesting. I'm going to have to look into that. All right. Garnet says, are you of anywhere that helps with a mortgage? Having trouble keeping up since husband passed. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry. That is so hard. There are organizations out there that can help you with mortgage payments. In fact, one of them, which it sounds like you might qualify for. Oh, geez. Okay, I can see Stephanie responding. Maybe she can go grab the video link for the video we did on rent and mortgage payments, because there is an organization out there that if you're selected for their program, they actually cover like 12 months of mortgage payments, and it's crazy. I can't remember the name of it though, but I know they're in that video. So hopefully we can grab that link for you and drop that. There's a couple of others too, but most of the housing relief programs are for rent and not mortgage. If you are disabled though, I would recommend that you go talk to your county assessor's office, because a lot of times there's property tax exemptions and things like that that can lower the property taxes, which can in turn lower the amount of the mortgage, the escrow costs that you're paying for property taxes and things every month would go down as a result of that. So that's where I would start, and then definitely go look at that other video that we have, because there are a couple of resources that could help you. I just can't think of their names right now. Let's see. Ooh. All right. Thank you, Zakira. I'm gonna go look into that, because I have never tried that before. So that's to be honest with you, I still get nervous being live. So I'm still learning a lot about this. And I appreciate that all of you were so patient with me as I'm learning it. I know YouTube told me that our videos reached over 1 million people last month, which is crazy. So a lot of you have been very patient with me, and I do appreciate that. Let's see. All right. Sorry, without Kaylee here, I'm kind of going through comments too. And then if Stephanie's, I think she's still in here because she's dropping links. If she wants to click on things too, that'd be great. Oh, wow. All right. Laugh Factory in Los Angeles has been serving free Thanksgiving dinner and a comedy show for 45 years. I love them. That is such a fantastic thing. I love that they do the comedy show too, right? That's just amazing. There are so many good people out there doing good things for others. And I feel like we don't hear about that side of it very often, right? Like, so often our feeds are full of negativity and stress and scares, and especially lately when it's just so much chaos in the programs that we count on, right? And that's one of the reasons why we're doing stuff over at Hope, because our team needed an outlet that had more positivity in it. But yeah, I love what Laugh Factory is doing. There's so many good people out there. Let's see, trying to find more here. Oh, yay! If you see something, say something, says, just used my GoPuff. That's fantastic. I'm so glad that that is helping you guys. That is awesome. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to go through the questions and make sure that I'm not duplicating, because I can see that Stephanie's dropping comments too. Kaylee's only been with us for a week, but she's so valuable in reading through the comments while I'm talking so that you guys don't have to wait for me to catch up. Yeah, let's see. All right, Jackson says, I would check your area for any organizations like Knights of Columbus Hall. Sometimes they have a free lunch for donation. That's true. I have been amazed at how many people are stepping up, even in really rural areas, and just starting organizations to provide food for people. We have seen so many people doing so many amazing things. It's just been awesome. Let's see. All right, I think maybe I'm missing something here. Let's see. Oh, Call Me Glitter. I'm glad you found us too. That's awesome. I really appreciate all of you so much. Oh my goodness. MJ says, I just got here. I opened up profile today and I qualified for the $50 between that. That makes me so happy. I had I just wasn't sure if new profiles would qualify. So this makes me so happy. I'm so glad that that is working for you. That makes me so happy. Thank you for sharing that. Nana Johnson says, lenders have loan modification programs, and that is true. There's a lot of, especially right now with the shutdown and different things, lenders are generally a bit more accommodating in times of crisis. So if you, going back to the one who is struggling with the mortgage payments, if you call in and you're pretty upfront about it, you may be able to get some additional relief there too. So, let's see, Nono says, what are EBT cash benefits? Is that different from SNAP? Yes. They are funded from a different program, and it's like completely different in the federal budget too. They're completely different programs. And there is no like EBT cash program. They're funded through block grants like TANF and different things like that, which just makes it complicated. Some of this stuff feels like it's way more complicated than it needs to be. But let's see. Yeah, Alan says 2 times I went on Google to find out if I, as a retiree at 62 years old, am required to work for SNAP. Twice AI told me no, and 1 time AI told me yes. That's the joy of having AI built into everything. It doesn't always agree with itself. So coming back to this question, which I think you already asked earlier and I didn't answer very well, and I do apologize for that. I don't have the information in front of me, and I don't want to give you anything that is bad advice, but to my memory of what I remember, if you were earning at least from your retirement, if you had an income that was equal to 80 hours at the minimum wage, then you were exempt from the work requirements, is what I'm pretty sure I remember reading. Now, I'm trying to cushion that so that you're like, don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that's what I read. I would have to go dive in and get and look at all that information. We've been through so much just the last couple of weeks that everything that I did know is, my brain's full of a lot of stuff right now. What are you saying? Where do you sign up to get the $50? So that is coming from Propel app. And they are an app that helps people check their EBT balances. In the past, they've helped people get like special coupons and different things. They do a lot of really good services. And let's see, I'm going to try to jump back in our presentation and see if I can pull that up. Nope, not that one. I got close. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so it's Propel app. You might have known them in the past as providers. And before that, I'm pretty sure they were called EBT Fresh or Fresh EBT, something like that. They've gone through a couple of rebrands over the years, but their service is really pretty awesome. So you would need to download that app from your app store, or you can go to their website, which is, let me see. I want to make sure I'm giving you the right thing. Yeah. So if you go to propel.app, then they have a download button on their website where you can just click on that and download it as well. So that's where that $50 is coming from. And then, of course, there's the $50 from GoPuff, too, in case you missed that. But that's done by coupon codes within the GoPuff app. So, yeah. Let's see. Is Lasagna Love available in all states? That is an excellent question. So even in states where it is available, it's not always an option because it's very, very local. Let me see if I can pull up their map for you really quickly. Sometimes it doesn't like my internet. So I'm going to see if I can get it up, and then if I can get it up, I'll share it with you. So for example, it's not available where I live, but if I lived like 10 miles south of where I am, then it would be fine. I've been meaning to, I think Kaylee and I are going to sign up to be volunteers with this because I love what they're doing. Yeah, the map just isn't loading for me, but you can go to their website and it will, and then they have, like, you enter your zip code and it'll show you where it's at. So it's in a lot of areas and they're constantly growing. They started during COVID and there weren't very many, and now it's all over the place. So yeah. So thank you for looking this up, Time for Change. The West Virginia website is saying that they changed the able-bodied adults without dependents to ages 18 to 64 starting November 1st. So once you turn 65, you're fine. Until then, you have to meet those terms. But there's all sorts, it's not just work, right? You can work, you can go to school, you can volunteer. And I swear I remember seeing that if you had an income that was at or above a certain amount, then you were also okay. But I need to go back and go back and make sure I find that. Let's see. Do you have details on how Medicaid enrollees can redeem their nutrition benefits or access grocery vouchers using their Medicaid status? Yes. So Medicaid plans have a lot of goodies built into them. Not as many as they used to, but they have nutrition benefits and things like that in a lot of cases, not in all cases. To be able to get that, you would need to go talk to your plan provider and figure out how they do it. Because some of them, like some plans, you just go to CVS and then you can get your like over-the-counter stuff from there. And they have like a catalog of stuff you can choose from. It just depends on how your plan is handling it. So you would want to call the number on the back of your card, not the one that goes to the state, but the one that goes to your plan provider, and talk to somebody at that company to figure that out. So, yeah. Do you know anything about reverse mortgage? I have seen so many reverse mortgage scams out there. They honestly make me very nervous. But I know this is a question that a lot of people have. So I'm going to just right now, I'm making a note. We are going to do a video on that this month. Because that is going to be probably more important than ever. I know a lot of people are hurting right now, and that usually leads to an increase in scams and stuff. So we're going to do a video, and we'll go over all of that and help you figure out stuff on that a little bit. I don't want to say anything right now because I don't want to say anything that would be wrong. So give me a little bit to fact check. We'll be back with that information probably within the next week or so. All right. Love the Q&As. You girls are so helpful and awesome. It is quite obvious. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I definitely love this job. This is the best accidental job I've ever had in my whole life. I did not think this would be my career, but when I started the website as a side hobby and it went viral, and we've just been doing this ever since. And I love you all for making that possible. We love being able to help. And I think everybody on our team feels the same way. I've heard everybody talk about how much they love being able to help you guys. Oh dear, my child is calling. Gonna have to ignore that for now. Actually, sorry guys, I'm gonna need just a second because that was my teen kid and he's out in town. So I just need to make sure that he's okay really quick. And I think I know why he's calling, and I think I can deal with that. Hang on one moment. I apologize for the delay. Alrighty. Just one more second here to make sure that my kids are okay, and then I will get back to the video. Sorry. Sometimes being a mom, you know? Okay, we're good. He's good. Everything's good. Kids are fine. Okay. Okay, Clarissa says, signed up for Ibotta cashback. It works. Yes, that's awesome. Thank you for that. I saw somebody ask a question a second ago about how it works as well, which, let's see, do you know where that one is, Stephanie? Maybe I can find it. See, trying to find it. Somebody was asking how Ibotta works, and I want to make sure we get that information out. I'll just go ahead and answer it, even though I can't find it here in the chat. So when you use Ibotta, you need to make sure you download the app and then claim the offers. And there's going to have rules about like what brand it is and what size it is and things like that. And you need to make sure you pay close attention. So you claim the offers, and then you go to the store, you buy the things that are listed there. You check out, and then you scan your receipt, and then Ibotta gives you the money back. So that's how that works. Hopefully that answers the question because I couldn't find it. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Misty. I appreciate that. I feel bad doing that live because I don't want any of you to have to just like sit here and watch me do things. But definitely kids come first. And I know my oldest took Kaylee to her dental appointment today. And so I think they were calling to report on how that went. But yeah, I appreciate your patience with me while I'm doing the mom thing. Let's see. Oh, this isn't, oh, I clicked on the wrong thing, sorry. Mrs. Dawn says, check with Goodwill because they have programs to get you a free or low-cost car. I haven't looked into that one, but I do know there's a lot of different organizations out there that do free car giveaways, and we have a video about that and a list on our website to go with that as well. Yeah, let's see. Oh, this is good advice. Jay is saying the Louisiana Department of Health will distribute federal supplemental or SNAP funds to all eligible recipients starting November 7th. That is amazing. A lot of states have been stepping up and doing really incredible things to help tide people over during this time. Ooh! Noah says, I don't know if this is just for my state, but when I was applying for LIHEAP, the lady said that they are starting to pay for repairs for vehicles up to $2,000. That is amazing. We have a list of car repair services on our website as well, because I know that's one of those things. Like, I've been in a situation before where you get blindsided by a car repair bill and your whole world just turns upside down, right? Um, oh my goodness, so many phone calls right now. Ah, at least that one wasn't my kid. Um, but yeah, getting help with car repairs is amazing. I'm glad that if it was when you're applying for LIHEAP, I'm assuming that's coming from your Community Action Council. They're great resources for finding extra assistance. So, let's see. How often do you live? Yeah, so usually we go live a couple of times a month, but over the last 2 weeks, we've been live almost every single day. We do put out videos 6 days a week at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Usually they're not live. We may reconsider that. We may just continue doing live streams, but yeah. As for right now, with everything we're going through with SNAP and the shutdown and everything else, we're doing a lot of lives. I know we will be live tomorrow as well, because we're going to have that hearing. That hearing in the SNAP case is coming up, and so I don't know exactly what we're going to talk about, but hopefully it's going to be good news. For those of you who missed the update yesterday, the states that sued in Rhode Island to compel the full distribution of SNAP they're coming back and they're saying, well, we don't want partial, we want it to be full, and this is why we think it should be. And that hearing is going to go down tomorrow, and then I'm going to be here at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, to tell you all about how that went. Okay, sorry, I'm starting to trip over my words. We probably got to get going soon, because my studio light seems to be giving me migraines, and so I probably need to replace that. Darn it. Okay. Misty says, is in-kind income covered under the new changes with SNAP benefits? So I'm assuming you're asking about like in-kind support and maintenance, which is an SSI thing, where if you are getting help with food or if you're living with family, then they just got your benefits, which is not really cool. SNAP doesn't, to my knowledge, there's nothing changing about how that's calculated in SNAP. But I know in SSI, they are actually changing the rules so that if you are living with, let's see, what was it? If you're living with a family member and you're not paying an equal share of the rent, then they're going to count that differently, and it's going to cause problems. We did a video on that just a little bit ago. So I would refer you to that video for more specifics. So, yeah, okay. I can probably do maybe like 2 or 3 more questions, and then I'm probably going to have to go, both because I'm getting phone calls and because I'm starting to get that headache again that I just can't seem to get rid of. For those of you who are asking about state-by-state stuff for SNAP, I see some of those popping up here. I just want to show you this really quickly. So this is our website. And it's way easier for us to update the website than it is for us to update older videos. So we always like to point to these links because we can update this in real time. So this article is going to have the list of every state we found that's offering direct relief to its residents for SNAP. So if it's here, then this is something that we've fact checked. You can see these blue links are going to take you right to the original source where we found that information. Oh my goodness, another phone call. Okay. I probably need to go. That is my third phone call here in about 5 minutes, and some of them are coming from people that probably really shouldn't wait, just in case there's an emergency or something going on. So I'm going to leave you with this. This is on our website. And I do apologize that I didn't get to more of your answers. We will be back tomorrow going over everything that's going to happen in that SNAP hearing, though. So if you didn't get your question answered, please come back. I would like to help you guys with that. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your patience with me. I know things are ridiculously hard right now, and there is a lot of uncertainty. And I feel terrible when I can't give you a definitive answer because either we don't know yet or I just don't remember because I'm trying to hold so much stuff in my head at one time. I will go look into the things that I wrote down. And in the meantime, feel free to go grab this free journal. Stephanie and I put this together. It's really super helpful, I think. And you can get that for free over there. Thank you again for being here.